in following traitorous ideals. All 22 letters by King George make note that neither Jefferson, Washington, Franklin, and others named were not, and I repeat, were not considered to be radicalists or have radical thinking, only that they were considered to be traitors and have broken English law, and all punishable by death. Mr. Larson fails again to truly understand what the people of the colonies wanted and were willing to do to get it. He also fails to convince that his beliefs are similar to our forefathers, as they were not at all considered to be radicalists or having radical thinking, only to be men of vision whose vision went askew and that failed and have committed treasonous acts. Now think about that, folks. Continuing on with this letter. Now addressing Mr. Larson's claims on Hitler, claiming that Adolf Hitler tries to take away the people's rights to keep weapons in Nazi Germany is completely false, as that is far from the truth. After reading several letters written by surviving German citizens of the time period, along with other documented facts, Hitler's first move was to undermine the German government even before being elected as Chancellor of Germany. He did so by having many political counterparts assassinated, even unknown to his own political party. After being elected as Chancellor, he soon started to abolish the German government. He removed officials from his own party and replaced them with his own. They reformed the entire government and destroying all old laws and creating new ones. Over 4,212 laws changed, destroyed, and removed, while he never signed or ordered any bans on any weapons owned by German people. He just simply controlled their actions and beliefs without taking away any weapons. He believed the armed citizens would be beneficial in helping the German armies to repel any foreign invasions, even though the gun ownership before Hitler's rise to power was very minuscule at best. Once again, Mr. Larson fails to prove any points, as his knowledge on Hitler and the world seems to be very misguided. Touching on Mr. Larson's views of saying how liberals, Democrats, left-wingists all attack and become defensive when questioned on their beliefs or even proven wrong, Mr. Larson has demonstrated that he must be a liberal, far left-wing Democrat, because that is exactly what he has done in this instance on his show, after he was told to produce reliable and true information to back up his claims that he said he would produce. Now, I will not call Mr. Larson a radicalist, as I have only listened to one of his shows. I will say his views and what he claims to believe is of radical thinking, but not necessarily a radicalist. It is not in the vein of a patriot or a Jefferson or a Washington or others like them, but more in the lines of a realms of a misguided, uneducated, hurt, and very troubled person seeking dependency and assurance from all the wrong types of people. After having spoken with several very prominent Republican and Democrat members of U.S. Congress, the reasons that they give for not wanting to support Dianne Feinstein's bill, and by the way, he went right into this, Feinstein's bill to ban even more assault weapons, or in the style of similarity of assault weapons and magazines and others, is not, and I repeat, is not because it violates any constitutional rights and amendments, but simply because they do not feel it would hold up under a vote on the congressional floor, especially from the pressure of all the gun rights activists. These members of Congress reiterated it is not a violation of any rights under the Constitution, though Mr. Larson's statements saying Congress is against this bill because it is unconstitutional, it is in no way the truth by any means. They just simply do not believe the bill would pass. Mr. Larson has sadly failed to produce even a single piece of updated, reliable, accurate evidence, a fact to prove that President Obama or our government is in any way trying to abolish the Second Amendment or any other amendments, or is in any way trying to control the citizens of this great country. To believe Mr. Larson has, it would be completely foolhardy and would show any real lack of knowledge of our constitutions, of our Constitution, the laws of it, and any other laws of this great nation, as very similar to the great lack of knowledge and misunderstanding that Mr. Larson suffers from as well himself. What Mr. Larson has done is simply try to instill a misguided, useless, unwarranted fear that is in no way resembles any truth whatsoever. Why has Mr. Larson done this? I can only surmise it is because of his great lack of knowledge and misunderstanding on the Second Amendment, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution as a whole, and the complete rulings of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on these matters. I would suggest that he first obtain and read all the complete facts and documents and learn them before ever speaking on these subjects again. Then and only then will he be able to make any real and compelling cases to what he is trying to say. I want to thank you, DC, for encouraging people to seek out the truth for themselves and for allowing me to share this with your listeners. As I said, this came from a man who is in politics, a man who's in constitutional law. He has 2 PhDs, that letter did. That letter came from a man who has 2 PhDs, one in constitutional law, one in political science. He works in these fields. He's been on TV many a times. He's consulted with some of the top lawmakers in the country. But because of who he is, I know his name alone would influence your decision, and that is why I took out all the proof that he actually sent me. And I want you to seek it out yourself. Find the truth out for yourself. Don't just take what I said, and all I'm doing is reading this letter, because I said I was done with the subject, because Nick Larson didn't prove anything. But this man wanted this read, and I gave into it with the understanding that I would not present his facts. I would not present it. I would let you go out as a people and find it yourself, because I verified everything for my own personal security. I verified everything he said, and I verified that he really was who he claimed to be. But I want you to verify all that information from that letter I read you. And you'll find out for yourself that Nick Larson, that radio show, and everyone on it does not know anything about what they're talking about, that they're all wrong about Obama and the Second Amendment. Folks, I want to play this for you. This is a tribute to Nick Larson, that radio show, and all these other liberals, radicalists that think this way. Listen to this.
Time to do my radio show. But first I have to make sure my flock is completely aligned with me and always agrees with me that I am always right and I am never, ever wrong. And that anyone else that disagrees with me or the flock, they're the ones that are wrong. Not me and not my flock. Ever! Flock, do you agree with me that I am always right and I am never, ever wrong? And that you're never, ever wrong either, because I tell you what you should think and believe. And that's what you do, too. Do you all agree with that? We agree.
We agree. We agree.
We agree. It is so easy when I have indoctrinated my flock with my own false ideals. They are just so mindless and can't think for themselves. After all, I have taught them to be that way, because if they weren't, I would get rid of them. Now it's time to do my show.
Sing ho! Sing ho! Sing ho! Sing ho!
Oh, you are such a good little flock. Never, ever disagreeing with me and always saying that I am always right, even though I know I am wrong. And I've never had any real evidence from any reliable, authoritative sources to prove anything true, because it's all false and not happening. But anyways, so tell me, tell the world, flock, tell them I am always right and I am never ever wrong, and you all agree with me and never ever disagree with me. Ever. Tell them. We agree.
We agree.
We agree. The mindless, non-thinking flock agrees.
Wait, I disagree. I have a mind of my own, and I think for myself, and I encourage others to do so as well, because what you speak of is drivel.
What? What? You can't disagree. You can't think for yourself. I'll get back at you. I'll present more useless drivel.
Chicago! 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 Chicago!
Whew, that was close. Too close. Continue to not think, flock. Go ahead, just continue to not think for yourselves. Continue to only listen to me and always agree with me no matter what I say. Ooh, don't think for yourself. Whatever you do, don't. Ooh, yeah. I am so proud of myself. I feel just like my idol, and we all know who that was, 'cause I am just like he was. Yes, Mr. Nazi himself. I will follow in his footsteps. I will lead my flock, my sheep, my good little Nazis, my good little listeners, the flock. I will lead them in my way because I am the new Führer. I am the Führer. Drop my pacifier, my pacifier, my pacifier, my pacifier.
That was a tribute to that radio show, The Views Expressed, Just BK, all them other shows that just want you to mindlessly follow them and not check anything out. Folks, like I said, I verified all this information for my own peace of mind. Even though he gave me the information, I still wanted to verify it for myself. And I'll tell you, most of it you can't check out online. You're going to have to make some phone calls. You're going to have to get in your car. But once you do, you're going to find out that it's all true. It's going to take a while. I couldn't do it in 1 or 2 days. It took me all the way up until today. But it is all verifiable. Check it out for yourself. You'll see for yourself that what they're spewing to you is nonsense. Think for yourself. Don't take other people's words for everything. Don't be part of the mindless flock of that radio show, of the Views Expressed, of Just BK. Think for yourself, folks. Do it. Think for yourself. You'll be glad you did. You'll be glad that you always think for yourself and don't listen and be one of the flock. Well, this has been the Big DC with The Light Is On. I will see you next time. I will see everyone Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Rant. But this has been the Big DC on The Light Is On.